The current government is launching the Ghana Smart Schools project, and we will take you in there to enjoy the launch of this wonderful initiative. But before that, we are going to have a conversation to bring you up to speed on exactly what this initiative is, what's the rationale behind it, and how stakeholders intend to actually implement this for greater success. My guest is
Jabo, the Executive Director of Sendlos.
Great. So you said, I've seen a lot of articles going around about how this project basically means one student, one tablet. What's the rationale behind a project like this?
Very good. Let me seize this opportunity to greet your viewers and also to bring you greetings from the Ministry of Education, greetings from the erudite of education, Honorable Dr. Akufo-Addo, who is spearheading this project, especially being the minister for the sector. Again, my name is Nana Jemfie-Jabo. I am the Executive Director of Sendlos, and Sendlos is the Center for National Distance Learning and Open Schooling. My mandate is very simple: to infuse ICT into education, to make sure every child can leverage on technology to also receive education, just like a child living in the modern city. Yes, the Ghana Smart School project is one of the major projects. I can say it's a significant milestone achieved in education. The rationale behind is that we all know the times we are in. We are in the fourth industrial revolution and everything now is digital. Education is no different, so we need to also gravitate to make sure our traditional classrooms, our brick and mortar school, talk and chalk, can also receive that conversion. So the president of this country, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, who believes that education is a public good, who believes that education must be received by all Ghanaians, also think alike that we are in the fourth industrial revolution, so we need to digitize our school. Hence, today's project, that is Ghana Smart School project.
So is this an extension of the free senior high school policy?
Yes. You know, the president bestowed on us a fantastic initiative called the free senior high school and the free TVET.
Okay.
Again, we need to convert them into a smart school. So you could say that is an extension of it that gave birth to the Ghana Smart School project, which is happening today, which will be launched today, to make sure every child, especially in SHS 1, SHS 2, and SHS 3, will receive a tablet in their school to study. And we are going to do that very seamlessly to make sure every child will receive it, irrespective of your location, irrespective of whatever you are residing in Ghana. We will make sure you also receive this tablet.
So there are about 503 senior high schools and TVET schools in the country.
Correct.
How many of these are actually going to benefit from this policy?
All of the schools is going to benefit from this policy.
Do you have enough tablets to cater for all these students?
Yes. Again, we want to deepen the SDG 4 agenda. And the minister knows the importance of the SDG 4 agenda. That talks about quality, access, and it talks about equity in education. That is inclusivity. So we need to make sure we give the tablet to every student. So we have it for all the students. And we have close to 1.4 million senior high school students. And all of them will receive their tablets. This will be done in phase implementation. So the first cohort has 30 schools, which if we break it down, is 450,000 students in the first cohort. So we will make sure all of them receive it. But again, at the ministry or at Sendlos, we have ways of doing such projects. So we need to do it in phases. We need to make sure we can set up a good monitoring plan and evaluation to see how the first 30 cohorts will do. Then we will go ahead and do the others. But everyone will receive a tablet, especially since we want to create smart schools for everyone in Ghana.
I like that you mentioned monitoring and evaluation. Can you give me a highlight of what that looks like, your monitoring and evaluation? Because let me give you a bit of reference. During COVID time, a lot of schools, particularly tertiary schools, had to move to online learning to cater for the social distancing and all that. You said you've engaged some stakeholders before you concluded on this policy and its implementational strategies and all that. Did you assess some of the disadvantages that came from tertiary institutions learning online, and how did you apply that? So in terms of quality assurance, how do you ensure that this has come to actually fill a need, and how do you make sure that you're doing it right?
Right. At St. Louis, I think one of my major expertise is to implement projects, which we have already introduced something called the iBox, which is an intelligent box system. It's already across the nation. Most of the schools in the senior high school has received it. The iBox is an offline learning management system. Good. But today we are talking about the tablet, and to implement any project, we leading the project make sure that 6 crucial things has to be looked at. One of them is policy. We look at infrastructure. We look at content. We look at capacity building. We look at assessment, and of course the curriculum. So all these are the areas that we have set the monitoring and evaluation for these smart schools to capture, to make sure, yes, there's policy to govern the project to be sustained, policy for teachers to use digital tools to teach, policy for students to use this platform or the tablets. Of course, when it comes to infrastructure, the tablets forms part of the infrastructure. We look at connectivity. We have to monitor how the schools are receiving their connectivity. The electricity part too, we look at it. All of this, the data centers, we go to capacity building. We need to make sure that every teacher is very confident to use digital tools to teach. So every initiative that we do, we look at the techno-pedagogy, the pedagogy that goes with that implementation, and we have done all that. The content, St. Louis is the mastery of content production in the country. So all the content on these tablets came from St. Louis, and we have content in interactives, we have audio visuals, we have videos, we have tests, and we have quizzes. So that the students will have all these on their platform. And of course, the curriculum, if you are implementing a project like this, you need to make sure it speaks to the curriculum. So we just recently introduced the standard-based curriculum, and that is a reflection of the Ghana Smart School to allow teachers and students to use these kind of tools or tablets to learn and to teach in our school. So all of this has strictly been monitored, and we have delved deeper into it, research into it, receive all the data, and we know the areas we need to tighten it up. And we have also benchmarked this with other countries that have implemented same. So we already know the failures in, and Ghana, we have tightened it up, and the minister who understands the implementation of such project has given us the directive. So I know all Ghanaians should be happy and be ready for this fantastic initiative that is about to happen here at the conference center.
Right. You said you've already oriented teachers. Have you equipped teachers with the pedagogical competencies in this ever-changing fourth industrial revolution to handle this new status quo?
Good. At St. Louis, and we work with stakeholders. We do a lot of collaborative projects. And when you talk about teachers, you need to collaborate with GES. We have to also work with NTC, and of course, St. Louis, NASIA, all the agencies. We came together. We give trainings to the teachers, and they receive CPD points. Once they receive those pedagogical trainings, they receive points for that. So we have done all these trainings to make sure they can use these digital tools to teach. 3 key areas we focus is to make sure they build the learning environment online. They are also going to be able to measure the outcomes and also have the learning experience that they want to get online, just like they receive on the traditional classroom brick and mortar. And these training, we do that in phases. And once the teacher is very confident in using it to build the environment, then we give them the CPD points. So it's going well, and they are ready. We are training them in phases. As soon as we finish a batch, we call the other batch. Training is done in a hybrid mode. We go in person and some of them digital.
How many have you trained so far? How many teachers have been trained so far?
We have trained quite a bit.
Okay.
It's a lot that we have done. It's an ongoing process, yes.
Okay, what about the students? Using electronic devices in this day and age comes with its own challenges.
I know.
Are they equipped to handle this? For example, if something happens, they can troubleshoot technical issues on their own without going to seek help from someone.
Very
Do you
good.
intend to orient or show these children how to actually use this before you hand over the machines to them?
Very good. All this has been factored and we have considered all this. The tablet comes with a user guide.
Okay.
And also we have taken time to record how to maneuver your way at Senlo Studios to also put it on the tablet for the student. Also, all the districts, see, this whole thing is done in a pyramid approach.
Okay.
So we have national team, we have regional, and we have district. We have GES staff, we have TVET staff that are very conversant with ICT. So once they receive training, it trickles down to the district. So we have ICT coordinators that will be with the schools. So they will dish out these trainings to them. But the students, it will surprise you, most of them, they are already good at using such devices.
Yeah.
We are in that, it will surprise you. If you give them to them, they will just boot it. But still, it is our mandate to make sure they receive those trainings. And we have some monitoring going on via connectivity and offline mode to make sure we will keep track on whatever they are doing on the platform or on the tablets. And we are not going to allow them to veer off to sites that they are not supposed. All the training, we have factored it in and we will train them. And also the teachers will have what we call the teacher management system. So they could also turn off a tablet once a student is not doing the right thing with a tablet, yes.
So there are systems in place to check browser activities for these students?
Very much so. Senlo staff and other bodies has received trainings. Cyber security training and other stuff. You know, we have three kinds of webs. We have the clear web, we have the deep web, we have the dark web. Whatever a student will do is on the clear web. If I want to go behind and see what they have done, I will delve deep into the dark web or the deep web using a strategy, which I'm not going to say it here. And we will know. So we have received trainings on that, and we have other monitoring units to monitor what goes on offline and online mode. So we are prepared. We are very prepared.
How about internet? This is online learning. There are so many schools in the country who don't have enough internet bandwidth to handle learning online. How do you cater for that?
Good. We know most of the schools, if not all, I think they have free Wi-Fi in their schools via the PC Internet project. So they have Wi-Fi, and the provision that they have is what they are looking for. You need 5 Mbps and 10 Mbps. To the 5 to just surf the internet, and to download you need the 10 megapixels the speed of the internet to be able to download. So we have given all these provision for the Wi-Fi in their schools. And those that don't have it, the good news is when it comes to the tablet, you can use it in offline mode and online mode. So the offline mode, you download or you receive the tablet with a preloaded content. Don't use anything connectivity to use the tablet. If you have to go on the internet and you are on campus and the free Wi-Fi is there, then you utilize it. So it's both ways. It has two modalities.
Tablets for a little bit. Are they their students to keep? Are they theirs to keep? When you get a tablet, for instance, in school, do you keep them, hold on to them even after completion?
The whole approach is just like a normal or a brick or a traditional library. But you go in and check out a book whilst you are a student. Once you are through with your education, you turn the book back. You know, so the tablets, through their educational period at the school, when you check it, we give you the tablet from SHS 1. You will use it until you graduate from SHS 3. So when you are leaving the school, you need to give it back. So other students can also use it. So there's a succession plan for that. And there's a strategy for us to receive it back. That most of the support staff in the schools has received trainings. And again, the monitoring will be going on. headmasters, academics, and teachers will be helping for us to make sure we receive the tablets back. And most all the tablets are being insured. And again, we monitor the tablets using the IMEI numbers. And we also have some RF codes to monitor the tablets. So any given time, we know where it is. And this is a good project.
What are the specifications of this tablet?
Very good. The specs is, the tablet is, it has a 10.1-inch monitor. And it have a RAM size of 4 gigabytes. And it has a ROM that is read-only memory of 128 gigabytes. And it has a back camera 5 megapixels and a back 8 megapixels. And it's very durable, water resistance. It has a processor that is the quad-core 2 processor. And that processor, we all know, is very efficient on electricity consumption. It's very good at speed. So the processor is good, and it has a backpack that you keep it in. The students making it
so
very
the laptops
portable.
come with a bag?
Yes, yes, making it portable for the students. And of course, it has a solar pack that students that don't have electricity can charge it. The batteries works between 7 to 8 hours, so it lasts for the period of your school time. When you go, you can charge it. And of course, we have a charging port at the schools that you can also put it on. And everything has been looked at it, so it will be fantastic. I see this as an amazing, significant project for the people of Ghana, especially in the industry we are in, especially the fourth industrial revolution. We know we cannot sit aloof. We need to make sure every student learn how to use digital school. Every student should learn one of the digital skills. It could be coding, it could be artificial intelligence, it could be robotics. And regardless of what your discipline you are learning in school, by the time you complete, you have one of these digital skills. Other countries are doing it. In India, most of these students have learned one of the digital skills. So once they complete, they have an online job portal, and they will be on there. Any country that needs the best coders, they will dip into that portal, and they will sit in India and be working. I think the visionary leader, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his able lieutenant, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has this vision, and we can't sit aloof to make sure our kids will receive this digital skill to compete globally, to be a global citizen, Ghanaian citizen, to be functional citizen. That is what this project is about.
Interesting. Who bears the cost for repair, tear and wear? I mean, these devices come with some issues, hitch sometimes when you're using it for an extended period of time.
Of course,
it's inevitable.
Of course, yes.
Who bears the cost for that?
Yes, like I said, the devices or the tablets it's been insured, and of course it has a warranty. And we have trained a lot of staff, support staff in all the districts, which the Cat Care project and also cellular staff will be part. So it's a collaborative project that all the stakeholders, the private sector, the industry, the academia, the public sector, we don't leave nobody out. We need to make sure, see, it's education and it's a public good. It's the need for everyone. So we bring everybody together so we can work on it. So once there's a tablet break, there's a procedure that you are going to use to report. Firstly, the ICT coordinator in your school has to be in the know. The headmaster academic has to be in the know. The headmaster in the school has to be in the know. Then the ICT lab, you will submit it there. The care support people will come and pick it up. If it's something they can remotely fix it, maybe it's just configuration, they will do it. If it's not, then they will pick it up, then we will look at it and fix it and give you a replacement. So all of this is readily available. It's just a whole ecosystem that we have put in place to make sure this work very perfect and improve on quality in our educational system, and also create relevancy and give more access. When we are talking about education, that free SHS and free TVET, yes, a lot of students has received education through this fantastic initiative. We have close to 5.7 million students that has been enrolled in this fantastic project. But guess what? There's still significant numbers at home. We need to start to implement or initiate such smart projects to make sure everyone can receive education to deepen Article 25(1)(c) that talks about educational rights to make sure every child will receive education, irrespective of your background, your religion, or your gender, or your disability. So that is what we are looking at.
What's a long term? You keep saying it's for education, which is fantastic. That's why we are here. I mean, for education. So what's a long term plan? Are these tablets come to replace textbooks?
Yeah, I mean, good question. You can not say it's coming to replace textbooks.
Materials on there,
yes,
whether online or offline. There are course materials that are accessible
yes,
to all students.
On there, there's
okay.
no cost materials on the tablets.
Okay.
Let's get that straight.
Okay.
And it's going to replace the textbooks that the students need. Let's get this clear. It's going to replace the textbook that students need to complete their education.
Okay.
If you are in SHS1, the textbooks, you have 4 core subjects. It will be on there. You have electives, it will be on there. You have your test, it will be on there. Your quizzes, anything that you need that you would have needed in a traditional school, brick and mortar time, will be on the tablet. But the additional stuff that you will need, we will talk to the publishers to see how we can digitize their copyright, to put their books, to receive their copyright and put it on the tablet. So guess what? The publishers are even going to make more money because more people will start to utilize their book because of digital means. Look at Kindle Fire and other places. Now a lot of people are even sending their books, their copyrights on Kindle Fire and sit at home and receive their pay per click. So this will even improve their business. So it's not that we are going to use this means to kick out any person's business. No. It's a collaborative project. We bring them together. If you come to St. Louis, I work with publishers. I work with all the other stakeholders, NAFTI, Akroma, Traditional Village. All these production houses comes to St. Louis. We work together. We have a studio. We are about to launch a TV station there, but we bring them together. So nobody is going to kick anybody's
How
out.
long do you think it will take to phase out the traditional textbooks and, these laptops actually become the course material for all students?
I think time will tell. It's a project, and such project needs to be monitored and evaluated.
Okay.
And I believe decision will be made as we progress. And decision makers, especially the president, his able vice president, the minister for education, all the stakeholders, GES, Director General, TVET, the school unions, NTC boss, everyone will come together and assess the progress and see, okay, fantastic, this is working. So it will be too early to put times and days to that.
And you mentioned St. Louis a lot. I mean, almost all your responses. I understand it's because you are spearheading this, but there are other stakeholders involved. There are other companies, private sectors involved in this collaboration. Specifically, what is your role at St. Louis? What is your job, or what's the demarcation of your role in terms of implementing this project?
Yes, we are part of the project.
Right.
I mean, we are at the forefront.
Okay.
And sustainability resides in St. Louis. Of course, at the Ministry of Education, but the agency that is in charge of smart schools, or the agency in charge of ICT in education, that is St. Louis. So, projects goes through a period. We have to, when we receive a project, we firstly select schools that will receive the project. We will pilot it at those schools, and we will test the project to make sure. We will test for efficiency, we will test for efficacy, and we will test for results, the outcomes, to make sure the project is good for Ghana. Then we will hope to expand the project to be sustained. So all these steps, the sustainability is also crucial, the ownership of the project. So that is where St. Louis come in. We will own the project and sustain it to bring all the parties together. So this project wouldn't be in and phase out. No, it's a good project. So that is St. Louis' role in the project.
Private stakeholders or private sector players are here, and what is their role?
Major ones, public sector, teachers, students, GES, TVET, private sector. We have, of course, some of the suppliers for the tablets, and we have other, like the publishers, the producers, the content producers. All of them are part of this ecosystem. See, when it comes to EdTech, you cannot achieve results doing it in silos. It has to be a teamwork. It has to be collaborative projects, or everyone has a role to play, especially those in the EdTech space. So SENLOS, we bring them together. So we have a conference that we do every year, that we bring people, all the stakeholders together to learn some of our experience and even our failures. So we teach each other before we can implement project. And this is a conference that happens every time in the country, and they share their impact, their experience, and what projects they are doing. So we have a vision to build sort of like a directory, digital directory. So for instance, UNICEF, UNESCO is working on a project. There wouldn't be a redundancy, so the project wouldn't be repeated by another stakeholder. So all these SENLOS is spearheading that. So this project will be the same. We'll bring everybody together. Yes.
Let's circle back to the content on the on the tablets. You mentioned that there are 4 core subjects are on there. How are they designed? It's education, like you mentioned. When students are learning and they have to discover things on their own, sometimes they come across concepts that are too difficult for them to, break down on their own. Are there systems in place where they can immediately get help should they encounter something like that?
Yes. The content, at SENLOS, again, we are mastery in content production. We have a pre-production stage, we have a production stage, and post-production for content production. And it's not traditional content, it's digital content.
Okay.
So the content has to be broken down into teachable units online. So we bring experts together. Teachers are part of us. That they come, we look at the traditional textbook, then we look at it and see how we can break it into teachable units online. So the teachers will guide us together with some of my experts at SENLOS. Then we'll reduce the content into digital content online for the teachers. For the students, we factor everything in to make sure that these students will never hope to receive other content outside. So all the contents are the things that they will need. So we be in the shoes of a student. And during content production, there's something that is very crucial. We look at it. That is student voices. You don't leave student voices out. So we bring students to our jurisdiction so they will look at the content and say, oh, this is good, before we put it online.
As we speak, there are 30 schools that will benefit in the first phase of this project.
Yes.
And there are laptops ready to go out to them.
Yes.
The question is, while learning on these tablets, if they encounter concepts that are too difficult for them to understand, what do they do? Are there systems on the tablets where they can ask questions? Okay.
Yes, it has a learning management system.
Okay.
So the tablet is preloaded with a learning management system. And on the learning management system, we have a teacher's portal or a link for teachers to be on there.
Live.
Okay. And we have a space for students and even administrators and support staff. So if they encounter an issue, they will just place it on the teacher's portal and they will respond. And they can do live classes also on the learning management system. And there's communication 360 degrees. So it's back and forth. Teacher, student, teacher, parent, parent, teacher. So they will all be in the loop to know what is going on. And parents will know what the awards are doing. Communication is key. So we have taken all this into consideration. So the learning management system is easily to use, is user-friendly, and will walk all the students how to use it. So you will create your profile, your student name, your profile, your year, because you have a login credentials. By the time you log in, we already populate those data for you, and you change the password, so it becomes yours. Yeah.
Okay, but your parents don't have access. Once you change your password, they don't have access to it.
Yeah, but the app for the learning management system is at the App Store, so the parents can also download it on their portal and also can have access to see what the awards are doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which 30 schools are getting the first batch then?
There's a lot. I know Opokuware, I know Wesley Girls, I know Awaso, I know, of course, Manfi Girls is part of it. It's spread across.
Sounds like A and B list schools. Is there specifically a reason why you're starting with them?
No, we have other schools that is not, A and B. We have some Class C schools. It's equity, inclusivity. We have schools that has been selected that we have them persons with disability there. So we are ready for equity. Yes.
What's the highlight for you on this tablet distribution before we wrap it up? What would be your biggest wow factor when it comes to students using this tablet for online learning?
My biggest wow factor is the milestone, the significant milestone that we have achieved when it comes to education. That now you see students using tablets and teachers teaching them on it, making sure these students will receive digital skills online. And also, it will help them to build on their 4Cs. That is creativity, collaboration, good communication skills, and deepen their critical thinking. I believe these students will be very, very happy that we are preparing them for this century we are in, the fourth industrial revolution, that now they can compete globally. They wouldn't be scared of technology. That is my wow factor. That is education being digitized. Education for the future, building schools for the future, smart classroom, things being done online for every student, irrespective of where you are. This is fantastic. This is a buoyant achievement, and I salute decision makers, and I know Ghana is going to make the world proud, and our other persons like Kofi-Addo who believe education is a human right will be proud of Ghana today, and everyone will be proud. Yes.
I've seen some students around. Will they be walking away with their tablets when they leave here today?
No, today is just for the lunch.
Okay.
And they will receive it at their respective schools because there's a procedure for them to receive it, of course.
And just to be clear, it's only the students, senior high school students that are receiving. Teachers are not receiving this tablet.
Teachers have already received their laptops. Theirs were laptops, and this is tablets.
All right. Your final words before I let you go.
Well, my final words to the people of Ghana is education has seen a paradigm shift. Ghana, through the help of Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, who sees education as a public good, is introducing something magnificent for the people of Ghana. I believe this is a game changer, that we have to embrace it well. We need to see this to improve education that will include everyone. We need to make sure that this becomes a thing that will help our education to leapfrog. My minister always say this, that we need to teach the kids to compete globally. He recently made a buoyant statement in UN that you cannot memorize your way out of poverty, but you can innovate yourself out of poverty. He believes that we need to teach the kids how not to memorize, that you just pass in the traditional brick and mortar. After you leave, nothing. But we want to make sure that we incorporate digital means to improve the traditional education, so a teacher will help to develop our kids for us. So I believe this is a game changer, and the people of Ghana should be happy. One thing that I believe is a statement that is crucial, that we need to invest in our kids through education. Any country that fails to invest in their wards or their students through education does not deserve their future. And this statement was made by Oliver R. Tambo, and this is a crucial one. And Nana Akufo-Addo is investing in the people. So I believe he believes the future is through education. Thank you.
My guest, Executive Director for CENLOS, spearheading this Ghana Smart School project for the current government. Thank you so much for shedding light on this initiative for us. Right, so there you have it. That's our first guest for today. We will bring you 2 more interviews and in-depth analysis on how feasible this project is along the line. And we would also bring you a live coverage of everything happening inside. But right now, I'm going to hand over to Benjamin Akapo, and we'll be right back.
realization of
Right.
something that happened about 3 years ago.
So 450,000 tablets. The
Yes.
first 450,000 was
Yes.
sponsored by you,
Yeah,
by
through,
Gov't Fund.
through the fund.
Okay, and where did the actual fund come from for this?
It's part of our 2.5 levy that initially used to be VAT,
Okay.
but now is a straight levy. So the accumulation of that revenue comes into the fund for educational activities. And we made the pledge to be able to sponsor this first bit, even though it was more than 450,000.
Okay.
But the board deemed it right that based on their constraint, they will be able to fund 450,000, which we've done.
You also sponsored the laptops that have already been distributed to the teachers.
Yes.
Okay, how many
Yes.
laptops were those?
Initially, it was, I think, 280, and there was an additional 80 to make it 360.
Okay.
That was an arrangement, an MOU between the ministry, Gov't Fund, and then the teacher unions, which we did 70% of the payment, and then the teachers to top it up with 30%.
I mean, Gov't Fund is rich, so yeah, it goes without saying that
Why
again.
do people say that Gov't Fund is rich? It's a mandate.
But you
that,
have money.
It's a mandate that has been bestowed upon us,
Yeah.
and we're making sure that we try as much as possible to bring out some of these things that will enhance the quality of education. For me, being at as the head of the entity,
Yeah.
I would say that the money that is coming from us is not the total that
okay.
we're supposed to, and we even need more to do more.
Okay. So apart from sponsoring these laptops and tablets, what other role do you play for the Smart Schools project? Or just that? Is it purely sponsorship?
It's purely sponsorship, but
Okay.
we made sure that for us to get value for money, we had to delve deep into what it entails.
Right.
So the audit department they played a key role in ensuring that what was coming out will be something that will be beneficial to the student and to the country in a whole.
I think that Gov't Fund is at the helm of educational revolution in this country.
Yes.
Do you think this is what we really need at this point for our senior high schools?
That question is a bit debatable.
Okay, what do you think?
It's something that is, if you look at the fourth revolution, this will play a very key role. Others may be thinking about other basic things that should be done, but you cannot take one and then do it all. We are doing a lot of projects.
Okay.
If we should be asked. Infrastructure, when the double track came on, we had to try and re-engineer how we can fund these scattered projects. We've done a bit, and then there are others. I've watched some of your documentaries
okay.
on
Free senior high school,
free senior high schools.
empty plates, the free senior high school.
We
promise.
don't fall part of the empty plate, but
Okay.
when it comes to the deficit in furniture and then others, and we've also made sure that this year a chunk of our money is going for procurement of furniture for basic schools in Ghana. We cannot be seen to be doing all, but when problems comes in, we try as much as possible to solve those problems, and then we listen to our stakeholders in order to be proactive in some of these. Currently, this year, our budget was approved last Monday, and I think 67% of our budget is going in for stall projects and completion of projects.
Okay.
So this year, contractors, a line item has been provided for payment of contractors area, and I'm glad to share it on your news that we'll be paying contractors all their arrears up to 31st December.
Wow. Okay.
2023. And in 2024, we have line items that will also accommodate projects that will be done this year. So it's a good news for contractors.
Can you put a figure to it? How much are we talking about?
67% of
The actual figure, yeah.
a total of about 3.9 million.
Okay.
Billion Ghana cedis. So you can do the math.
3.9 billion Ghana
Billion
cedis
Ghana
to be paid out to contractors.
No, 67% of
Of
the
that,
3.9
okay, all right.
will be for claims and then completion of ongoing projects.
Okay. How long have you been in arrears?
I can talk about when I took over
Okay.
as the administrator of the fund. It dated as far back as 2023. So in 2017, it was in 2023. But I'm glad to tell you that we've been able to move. And for now, I can boldly say that we'll be able to pay up to December 2023. And then in 2024, some of them will be paid.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we keep our tabs on that and see how it goes.
Thank you.
So generally, what should we expect when we start the launch? Although you are one of the sponsors, I believe that your presence here is also pivotal in how the launch runs today. What are some of the things that viewers should expect?
I'm not part of the planning program,
Right.
but what I can say is that they are going to let us know how the features of the tablet. I can say offer that it is a tablet that can work offline and then online.
Right.
It has two charging system, that is the solar and then electricity. So if it happens that the locality that you are in, there's no electricity, you can use solar to power it. Because it is online, it can be upgraded.
Yeah.
And there is a warranty to it. It has a tracking device so that you cannot just take it or steal it or maybe sell it. It has a monitoring activity too that will not allow you to go to sites that are not beneficial to the user.
Nana Jemfi was just with me, and he shed light on the specifications of on all that. Yeah, so
that is it. And you see, if you look at the benefit, I don't think it far outweighs the whoever would like to criticize it. And then the idea that it can be refurbished and then given back to a continuation. So when, after leaving in the third year, it can be refurbished and then someone in the first year can take it up and then use it.
You said the benefits outweigh the disadvantages, or anyone who wants to criticize this. Have you come across any such criticism? What did they say about this?
Some will say that it is not needed at this time because there are
infrastructural challenges. There are schools under trees.
But to be frank, those schools under trees would never leave us. I always make that point. Schools under tree would never leave us.
Right.
It is how Jesus said that the poor will always be with us. It is something that it would, but that doesn't mean that you have to stop and then complete all those processes. If you know how schools under trees come into being, then you will know why I'm saying that it can never leave us. Because anywhere there's a new community, they may decide to maybe use the term school under tree doesn't mean that they are having the school under
some of
tree.
them are. Some of them really are under trees.
But the generic term that they call the school under trees are not just projects that are done under trees, schools that are done under trees.
Right.
If it is even in a dilapidated structure, they term it as schools under trees. If it is being done in maybe a church building, it is also termed as schools under trees.
Okay.
And a new community springing can always make a new
So
school.
I guess the question is, these resources, parts which you have sponsored, the monies that they're using to distribute one tablet to one student, could it not have been put to a better use? That's the question.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying, that is debatable, because if you look at free SHS,
Yeah.
it is their slogan, it is equity, accessibility, and then quality.
Right.
It is 3 in all.
Right.
You cannot be seen doing 2 of them and then leave a third factor.
Okay.
So if we are increasing quality, it is in line with it. We are not saying that we're stopping with the infrastructure build-up.
Right.
Because I've told you that this year, our budget, 67% of our budget is tackling the
Arrears, contractors, yeah.
arrears and then completion of ongoing projects.
Okay.
So it is these 3 factors that we are doing it all in one. So if you criticize one of them, that we should drop one and then concentrate on 2, that is where I have the problem.
Well, I don't think the problem is that we want you to drop one. It's just, like you said, quality. And you have seen a documentary on
Yes.
the empty plates.
Yes.
How does it sit with you? What?
For me, as a Ghanaian, when I watch it, I think that something better could have
Okay.
been done.
I think we should leave it there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
You're
for
most
joining
welcome.
us for this conversation. Please
most welcome.
enjoy the show. But
Thank
that's
you.
not all. My next guest, thank you, Dr. Richard Ampofu, who is the administrator for Gov't. Next, we have Mr. Lawrence Honuvo, who is the general manager of KA Technologies, and he'll be joining me, also shedding more light on where exactly this policy sits in the educational framework of the country. Dr. Richard Ampofu was just telling us that Gov't sponsored the first batch of laptops that were given to teachers who were trained, ahead of time to handle this tablets that will be given to students for electronic learning. And they also sponsored the first over 400,000 batch of lab tablets that will be given to students. Let's now get to my next and final guest, Mr. Lawrence Honuvo, who's General Manager of KA Technologies. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. So we are sharing one tablet to one student.
That's correct.
What is the role of KA Technologies in all of this?
All right, so thank you, and once again, good morning to all our viewers. My name is Lawrence. So the role of KA Technologies is to be a device partner
Right.
to the ministry and to all stakeholders on this project. Our job is to ensure that the specifications given are delivered to the intended users of the product.
Okay, so what are the specifications that were given?
Right, so the screen size of the device is 10.1 inches, and it runs on Android version 12. The RAM is 4 GB, and the memory is 128. It supports a memory SIM, it supports Wi-Fi, it has a power bank. So for instance, we took areas may have issues with internet connectivity. So for instance, in terms of power and internet itself. So in terms of power, we have a backup, which is a power bank that the tablet will be charged with. We also took into account the fact that across the country, even in the cities, we have connectivity issues in terms of internet. And so we developed an offline version of the platform to ensure that students are not deprived of the learning resources. So we have a full package in terms of the device itself. It's very durable. We have subjected it to all the quality tests in terms of durability, in terms of stress tests, to ensure that our students get the best of the product we are giving to them.
These specifications, are they the universal standard?
Yes.
Or what are they based on?
Yeah, so these are global standards
Okay.
for products. If you want to introduce a product to the market, you must subject it to global standards.
Right.
And one of the key areas is durability. Let me also mention that KA Technologies is ISO 9001-2015 certified. And so we do not just do things the way we please, but we subject it to the quality standards. And we ensure that every product that goes out is of the best standard.
How many tablets are readily available now to go out to students?
Yes, right. So in terms of the request and the phases, in phase 1, we are to deliver 450,000.
450.
And we have that ready to go.
Sponsored by Gov't.
Of course, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So those are the tablets that are readily available to go to the 30 schools?
Yes. So
Okay.
in terms of the phase 1, for now we have received list of 30 schools, and we'll supply to all 30 schools. So far we've done 15 already, and this week the other 15 schools are
you
going.
have distributed
Of course.
to which schools?
So for instance, Wesley
Okay.
Senior High School is part. We have done Awaso, we have done Applied Technology, we have done Achimota. So 15 schools have been covered. And so the protocol is we deliver to the regional stores, and the stores based on audit and records, and then they in turn now deliver to the schools. So that's the process, yeah.
That's interesting. So as we speak, there are some students with their tablets.
So the tablets are in the schools,
Okay.
but they are yet to be delivered
To the students.
because the launch has to happen, and
Right.
the protocols must be respected.
Did you take these students through any orientation before these tablets will be handed over to them, just so they know what they're dealing with, and when they encounter some challenges, they know what to do?
Great. That's a great question. So we have also taken into account the training needs for the project. So for instance, you need to train the ICT coordinators at the regional level. First, we started at the national level, then to the regional level, and then district, and to the schools. Now, at the school, we have completed the ICT training for all ICT coordinators in every senior high school in the country. Now,
Okay.
when we start the deployment, so for instance, before you hand over a tablet to a student, we also have what we call a distribution platform, which is automated.
Okay.
We upload the student data in the system. So when we check the system and your data is not in the system, it means that
You will
you
not
can't
get a
collect.
laptop.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when students receive the tablet, we have a session where we complete a training. So we have an orientation. We don't want to assume that we know they are smart. It's their world now.
Yeah.
But we cannot overlook that. So we have a session which is an orientation session to go through the tablet together, and they can schedule that in phases. Yes.
Do you think these tablets can be used in remote areas where they don't have enough internet bandwidth, or can they work in these areas with as little, with the least internet bandwidth that's possible in those areas?
Exactly. So that is a major area that stakeholders looked at on this project.
Okay.
So the app itself is not heavy, and so with a little internet bandwidth, you are good to go. I also mentioned the fact that we have an offline version.
Yes.
Yeah. So it also allows teachers to share files. So maybe I have a learning resource. It could be a video. It could be a book and whatever. Once I share, student can access it offline, and they can still benefit from it.
And
so taking into account
they
all
don't
that.
necessarily need internet to be able to study on this e-learning
No,
platform.
they don't need to be online all the time. But let's also mention this fact that to get the full benefits of this project, we also need to help our students to come online to benefit from other resources. That is important. But we have taken into account the fact that we may have connectivity issues, and so the offline platform is there to help them.
Okay. Did KA Technologies factor in any AI technology in building or procuring these tablets for students?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me a
Good.
little bit about that.
I'm happy that you are bringing up the conversation about AI.
I mean, we are in a world
Yes,
of
it's
technology,
yes, of course.
so yeah.
We also took into account all
Right.
this. So, for instance, the system should be able to allow us to know how many times you've visited a platform, what are the subject areas or courses that you have been reading. We are able to tell your journey throughout the system. Your assessment in terms of even the quizzes that you've taken, your scores and all that. The system also predicts. So, for instance, if you have answered basic questions, we'll move you to a higher level. Then you can try
okay.
this. That's how it works.
So it's like a game.
Yes.
You play one level, you move to the next.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So it's examination friendly. You can do video conferencing and all that, even without internet.
Yeah, so there are some features that, of course, if the ministry wants it to be activated, it will be activated on the platform, yes.
Right.
In terms of teaching resources and all that, yeah.
So if a student was going to take an examination with this tablet, what are the features that are currently available on?
Yeah, so a teacher can give maybe quiz or give assignment, and then students are able to provide answers on the platform and get their scores immediately.
Will the quizzes be within a limited time frame, or they can
Yes,
answer as they can take as long as they want to answer?
Yes, so those are advices or add-ons or instructions that the teacher or the instructor can give. So for instance, this quiz maybe is for 5 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Maybe it comes with 60 questions. So, and then within this time frame. So the teacher can set these ones for the student. And then the students will get all the information to say, okay, this quiz lasts for this period. You have to complete it maybe before 6 p.m. this day. And they can also set, maybe you can take it twice or just one attempt. So those are instructions and advices that the teacher can give on the platform, and students are good to go.
Actually, Nana James Fiejabo gave us a picturesque description about how it's a pyramid. You know, there's a teacher, students, and then parents, I think. But since you are the ones who are actually in charge of the technology, I would like you to paint a clearer picture for me. If the teacher is not online and the student encounters a challenge, maybe a concept that's too hard for him or her to grasp immediately, is there any system in place that ensures that that child does not completely forget about that concept that might be necessary, and, you know, a way for him or her to come back to it later, or when the teacher comes back on, is able to see that and address it for the child?
Yeah, so thank you. So there are two options. The student can leave a message for the teacher. Yeah, and then later when the teacher comes on, the teacher can respond. The second option...
So the teachers are not live on all the time?
They're not live on, of course.
But that's something AI could fix.
Yes. So they can give that option and then the teacher can respond. The second option is we have a block that a student can create a block and put maybe, I am struggling in this area. I see that a lot of you are excited about this. Can you help me understand this? So the student can start or create a block, and his fellow students can contribute and make it easier for him. Of course, teachers also have the opportunity to come in there and make their contributions. So this is how interesting the learning management system is. Yeah.
Wow, it is interesting indeed. Anything else about the workings of these tablets that you want to shed light on before we wrap it up?
Right. So one key area of concern to all of us is maintenance and support. So for instance, if you are giving out maybe in excess of 1 million tablets, the question is, how are you going to provide dedicated support? If a tablet breaks down, how do you go about it? If a tablet is stolen, how do you go about it? As a company, we have set up a total of 274 support centers across the country.
Are those booths we saw coming in?
Yes, so those are exhibitions. Yes, those are exhibitions. And you also notice that we have what we call a disability, a PWD kiosk. This is also additional support. So apart from every district having a support center, we are adding PWD kiosk or support in the schools to ensure that at least if you enter this school and there's a device issue, they don't need to travel far. It's right here. Additionally, we have what you call a Cat Care app, which is an application that allows people or students or users to make complaints. If I have an issue, I'll put it on a platform and we'll send you a technician to come and resolve your issues. Yes.
So the Cat Care app is on the tablet?
Yes, it's on the tablet, yes. It's on the tablet.
And these 200 and something kiosks are going to be
274
centers.
Yes.
Distributed across all 16 regions of the country?
Please. Yes.
Okay. How many in each district, if you have the
some districts have 3. You know, some metropolitan municipal assemblies, they are bigger, so some have 3. Some have 1, some have 2. The kiosks, we are having 60,000 PWD kiosks. So this is in addition to what we already have. So this is, I think we have our very good friend there, who is, I think he has his form of disability. is, I think, related to his legs.
Okay.
So he's able to at least use the crutches and move. So he is manning this. He has experience. He's been working with us for a long time. And we are partnering with the Federation to ensure that we can bring on board so many people. And this is a job creation model that we are looking at. In addition to this, we are also partnering with TVET institutions. So in every region, we are setting up one TVET school. We'll train them on how to assemble, how to fix devices, maintain them and all that.
And this is different from the CAT care. This is different from the kiosk.
This is different from the kiosk.
All right.
But this is like technology, knowledge transfer. We want to empower. So it's like an opportunity for them to get a practical experience. So their ICT unit will be involved in this project as well.
So the human resources that will be handling or taking care of these issues in the kiosk, who is their central command, you or Sendlos?
So in terms of human resource relating to the support.
Yes, the support.
That
the
is with
people
us.
that is you.
Yes.
So you train them?
Yes.
Okay. And how many have you trained so far?
So far, 274, like I mentioned.
Okay.
And then we are adding the PWD project to it, yes. That is
All right.
60,000. So every trained person from PWD will have a kiosk, will have a workstation with all the tools and the resources. The beautiful aspect of this is we want them to also add other facilities, other services in addition to the repairs and maintenance.
Okay.
They are not only going to repair maybe our devices, we are training them with the know-how to be able to fix other devices as well. And so they can make some good money from there.
And these maintenance come with no cost at all to the students, right? Just for clarity. Do they have to pay when they come to repair their devices? No,
so there's a 1-year warranty for this project. And so whatever happens within that period is catered for. Let me emphasize this. So there is what you call a user defect.
Okay.
And we also have product defect, so or factory defect. So if there is a problem, let's say we do a distribution and a user says, my screen is shaking, that is a product defect or a factory defect.
Yes.
But if, for instance, a student drops the device and the screen is broken, that is not...
That's a user defect.
Yes, that's a user defect. It's not a product defect.
Right.
Yes. So for 1 year, any product defect or factory defect is on us. But if it's damaged by the user, then that bill will go to the ministry.
Well, I hope these devices are not easily damaged.
Not at all.
I mean, when it falls, would it crack instantly?
That's beautiful. If I had one here, I would have dropped it for you to see.
I would love if you could show us.
we in a demo, we did some, all the stakeholders, they were scared. But I said, you watch it. And we dropped it. Nothing happened. You picked it. Because we took into account the user group. We know most of them. Yes. Most of
These
them.
Are senior high school
yes.
students.
And they'll put it in their armpit. It may fall and all that.
Okay.
And then water and liquid. So if you look at the tablet, it's all sealed. It's difficult for water to penetrate. It's all sealed completely. And we took a lot into consideration in developing this product. And we think that it is one of the best products that our students can have.
How much would it cost to repair a broken screen, for example?
Okay, so in the rollout, we want to look at the volumes or the numbers that may come up. And then we'll see how we can work it out for the ministry. But we believe that a lot of the issues may be covered under warranty for now.
Well, please be considerate because, first of all, these children don't have many monies. They are students. Will you be demonstrating how the device works in here during the launch?
Yes, we'll do that.
Would you do a demo of it hitting the ground and, standing the test of time?
If you want us to do it,
yes, I would love to see it.
We are glad to do that.
Right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
KA Technologies General Manager, Mr. Lawrence Honuvo, for shedding light on the technical bits of this one student, one tablet project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, so there you have it. We've talked about this project in its entirety, the rationale behind it, where they're getting some of their sponsorship from, like GetFund sponsoring the first 450,000 tablets. And now we've spoken to KA Technologies, who are those who procure the devices for the over 503 schools in the country. In a bit, we'll take you inside to enjoy the actual launch of the program, which is which should start in about 5 or 6 minutes. In the meantime, Benjamin Akakpo is back in the studio, and we'll be back when the launch starts. Stick with us.
You said, how are we going to monitor? By monitoring. We're going to go to your school site. We're going to see you using your computer. We're going to do baseline with teachers. How often are you using the systems? How receptive are students? Those type of things. So we want quantifiable and qualifiable data.
Quantity and quality.
Yes, please.
But what timeline have you given yourself to evaluate the first phase of
So
this
the
project?
first phase of the program, we're looking at about 6 or so months, right? So what we did is that we went all over the country, and we did almost 100 schools. And what we took small groups out. They had a checklist, and we went to go see, is this school fit for purpose based on security? Like, can we actually hold these laptops in this school without them being stolen the next morning, right? Can we charge them? And I know some of the questions are, well, if they can't be charged in electricity, they're also solar powered. So we always have the solar power battery. Okay. But can we charge them safely? Can have the students been trained on it? Or do we already have ICT personnel on that school site? And so that's what we did. So we went to about 100 different schools, and then we picked the schools that were fit for purpose for that. So we're going to do that initial phase, see how it works, and then look at our data points and say, hey, are students feeling more comfortable in their classrooms? Okay. Are they feeling more creative? Are they more capable? And then we're going to see what the projects look like. So when we look at, did these students make a project? Did these students create a PowerPoint? Did they write their own textbook? Or did they write their own manual for something? Those are things that we're looking at. Okay.
And as technical innovation advisor to the minister, I'm sure that these solutions or the issues that will come up from your monitoring and evaluation, is there room to make changes to the policy and its implementation?
That's the entire point.
All right.
The entire point of doing things in a phase is being able to try it out, see how it feels, see how it goes, and then be able to make those changes. If we weren't going to have the space and the time to do the changes, we'll just say, hey, we're doing it tomorrow. And we'll roll it out. Here are your laptops. Let's pray. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to have a situation where we haven't crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. And so the mission and the vision is to truly do full-fledged implementation at the small scale level, and then have a deep conversation with ourselves with the data and say, these are the changes that must be made.
How about the public then? Are you open to inputs from the public, from parents, for instance, on how their students are faring?
Well, it's like everything that you do. Okay. You have to speak with parents. You have to speak with all levels and all stakeholders. So even in this launch, we have students here. We invited some parent groups. We invited CHAS. We invited the teacher unions. We invited Nananum. We invited the clergy. Like, it's the whole thing is not just come watch us unveil things. Look, I'm fine and I'm happy with the launch, but personally, the whole point from my point of view and from the office's point of view is, what does it look like and feel like on the ground? Yes. And how are people being impacted? If a parent tells me, Kweku, this laptop is distracting my child, and if it's 1 out of 100, I'll take that note and realize it's 1 out of 100. If I get 95 parents saying that this thing is distracting my child, then I have to look back at ourselves. We have to look back at ourselves and see how we can get that complaint out of there, because it is true.
Okay. Now, the issue about the students themselves paying for, user damages. For instance, if they crack a screen, and they have to pay for that.
So,
do you? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Do you think that that's fair
That's
to the
more,
students?
that's 100%
Because
fair.
they didn't even ask for this in the
So
first
the
place.
the situation is this: is 100% fair, and the reason why it is that at a certain point, when we are trying to move to a level, we all must move together. If 100 of us are trying to go here and we're all tied together, those two people who pull us back are pulling back 98 people. They're not pulling back 2 people. That's number one. Number two, you're going to sign against it. You and your family are going to say, hey, this is what I know and this is what I can do. That's another piece. Honestly, also, they're very sturdy, and if you are treating things correctly, and if you're using them correctly, it won't happen. I'm going to say something that people may laugh out there, but I've had the iPhone. I've had some sort of iPhone since the first one, 2007. Do you know how many screens I've ever cracked?
None?
1.
Okay.
And you know what? It was pure negligence. I was sitting like this.
You're an
getting out-
adult.
No, it doesn't.
The users are...
May I please
okay.
provide you something?
Go ahead.
What I will provide you is this. Number one, these are the same people who are 15, 16, 17, and 18 that when they're in our homes, we say, you know better and you're an adult. Do not tell me now that that same young person that you're giving all of these stresses to, that is cooking all of the meals, that's taking care of the other children, is now a child when you've been treating them like an adult since they were 11. That's number one, and we know that culturally. Number two, I will give an example of other jurisdictions where I've worked and I've researched. And young people, when they're trained very well to deal with things, deal with them very, very well. You'll be surprised how well maintenance is happening, even at our secondary schools, when young people are being watched and monitored properly. It's all about how you monitor. It's about the standards you set. You go to someone's home, and that child is beautiful, and they're pristine. They have no issues because their parents are monitoring and checking. That child goes to church, and at Sunday school, they're throwing things. Why? Because maybe that church doesn't have those standards.
Okay.
It's a standard-based system.
I get your points, but would the cost of repair and maintenance be subsidized at least to
That
make
is-
room for
that's something
students
that-
who can't afford to?
Of course. So
to do
I
that?
think that you have to look at it this way. These are what ifs that I believe are not tangible to have a large conversation about, because you build these things into your systems, right? And so are you asking us, have we built in a 10% redundancy to say, listen, they're probably going to crack these screens, and it's just life. Yes, we have built in those redundancies.
Okay.
Have we built in the training for making sure that they don't crack it at 15, 20%? Yes, we have. And just like we've done with all other systems that have been free, we have supported and subsidized to the highest of abilities. So when we talk about free SHS and free TVET, we've pushed it out to the entire nation. We push it out, and we've been supporting all the way across the board. So like I said, I don't think we should be having the what-if conversation of, if I break this, it's going to cost me 100 cities. It needs to be a conversation of, this laptop costs, let's not even use money. This laptop is going to change the way my student learns every day, and I need to be focused on that.
But it's inevitable, so we cannot neglect the
No,
question of...
I'm just saying this.
Yes.
It's something that we spent more time having this back and forth about that than about what the wonderful things are. And so at a certain point,
We've spoken about
Yeah.
the wonderful things.
So-
You are in the technical and innovation field.
Exactly.
That is why
And
these
I've-
are
and
technicalities
I've
that
answered that
need to be
question.
addressed.
And I've
right?
answered that question very
Okay.
directly and very
Okay.
succinctly, right? We built
Okay.
in the redundancies, we're
Okay.
doing the training, and we're supporting students at all levels.
Okay. Right. So what about the teachers going forward?
Yeah,
Do
so
they-
teachers were the first, are the most important here. As a teacher myself, it really doesn't matter if the kids have a laptop or a tablet if you're not building lessons for them to use it on, right? If you
Right.
haven't studied it yourself. And so the teachers are getting high-level training, not just in usage, but in creation.
Right. The question was going to be that, do you have systems that give them periodic training to be abreast with the ever-changing climate when it comes to technology?
Yeah, one of the best things that we have going on for ourselves is NTC and their CPD program, right?
Okay.
And it's literally called Continuous Professional Development.
Okay.
And so this is a part of that process.
Okay.
And so every one of our teachers is going to be consistently brought abreast with that. So you have different levels. So for
Okay.
example, if you're an ICT coordinator at a school, you're going to be trained at the highest level so
Okay.
you can train your colleagues.
So like
Right.
a training of trainers.
Exactly. That's
Right.
one level. But you'll also be getting, as a teacher, you'll also be getting direct training too. So it won't
Okay.
just be my ICT person trained me. But so we're going to start the ICT level. We're going to be training teachers directly, and it's going to be consistent. So, for example, there might be a boot camp on just PowerPoint. You'll be shocked how many instructors don't have a good grip on it, meaning that they can do a PowerPoint, but it might take them 2 hours when it should take them 20 minutes.
Okay.
So how do we do that very quickly for you? How to build your own website, because you want students to be doing that also. So those are type of trainings that we have in place so that every few weeks, every few months, you don't sit around and are not strong. We don't want the kids to laugh at their teachers, right?
Right, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Kwaba. Is this the most innovative thing that the ministry has done, do you think?
I don't know if I would say.
From your department?
I think so. And in fact, let's try to say something that I think a lot of us don't see or don't know. This is the most ambitious digital project in African education. The reason I'm saying that is this. There isn't any country, and please someone can correct me because maybe I haven't done the best research. There isn't any country that is planning within the next 18 months to do 100% one-to-one tablets. We're the only country in the continent doing that. It's the most ambitious thing that can happen for our future as far as technology goes. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Aaron Chum Akwabwa, who's the Strategy and Innovation Director and Technical Advisor to the Minister for Education. Right now, the ball is set, the stage is set. Let's take you right in there to enjoy the launch of the Ghana Smart Schools project by the current government led by President Akufo-Addo. Enjoy.